Hi, everyone. Diana Rankin here, and our little precious one back there, Piper. We're doing well here. Thank you. We've already started the chat, haven't we? That was kind of fun to get going here early. Good to see all of you, Sheila, Mike. How exciting to be able to see people. I wish I could physically see you. That makes it so much easier when I'm speaking to a group. Individually, I feel like I see you anyway. So it's different with the screen because I feel like I'm talking to myself, and it's nice to know I'm not. I'm talking to other people. We're the question that came up today from one of the viewers, and actually it's come from several. It's about, why does life seem harder on our spiritual journey? Shouldn't life get easier? And we're going to talk about that. Uh, Life on the spiritual journey is not easy, and we'll get into that in a moment. But I do want to give people, Sandra, a warm hello from Frankfurt. Thank you. So good to see you. Glad. And do you say Sandra or Sandra? Sandra, because it's an A. So I'm going to guess I'm saying that correctly, but if I'm wrong, let me know. We will also get a message from one of my books, The Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And as you know, Phillip is just my spirit guide. And we just open to any page and we will get our message for this week. Um, you know, so many people, my clients or friends or just people I talk with have asked me, why is it so hard if we're on this great spiritual journey? Isn't it supposed to be easier? Isn't, that one of the reasons we go on it and people tell us, hey, it gets easier. I do want to say it does get easier, and Phillip will explain about that. But if we step back and look at the masters, let's look at the Buddha, Jesus, Dr. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, even Lincoln. And if we think about those who have risen to the high order of what I call mastership, the great masters, their lives weren't easy. They didn't have easy lives. And so that doesn't mean those of us who are masters in training, and if you're hearing this video, you are a master in training and most likely an older soul. We're going to take it deeper with what Phillip has to say. So let me just get started there, because I understand the difficulties. And I promise you, Phillip will give you a couple of ways, and maybe I'll have a couple of ways for you to be able to make it a little bit easier. Okay? So here's what Phillip has to say. As one grows in their spirit, they begin to be faced with two difficulties. One, they are confronted with their own personal issues. And two, they are confronted with the world's issues. Both are for healing, and both were chosen by each individual. Let us explain. As souls in spirit world, each individual chooses those issues they wish to work with. These can be issues of interest, issues of other lives, issues they agreed need their help, and so on. So what Phillip is saying there is, we chose it. I always say we forgot to read the small print, however. And hello, welcome, Juliet. She says, happy Friday, everyone. Yes, it is Friday, isn't it? And where I am, it's a beautiful Friday. So let's admit we forgot to read the small print, but our souls did agree. We didn't necessarily agree to everything that happens. And it's like going to an airport. Which plane are you going to get on? You've got to get on one of them, but you choose which one. So Phillip goes on to say, the soul also chooses the time period, the place, such as the country, their parents, community, and so on. So those people often that we come in contact with in this life, those that help us as well as those that hurt us, we have chosen to work through them. They're part of our soul family. Phillip goes on to say, together with their team, shall we say, we're going to call that our council. Phillip is calling it our team today. They agree to bring the world into greater harmony by the work they do with their chosen issues. So we have agreed to bring the world into greater harmony, and that means we have to bring our lives into greater harmony. As both the personal and world issues come forth, it may often seem to the individual the work is difficult and may even cause pain. The pain and hardships lessen as the individual grows and learns the gifts brought forth from the pain and hardships. Eventually, the growth will allow the person to understand what is taking place. As they come to understand the transformation, they will grow to find love in all situations. In doing so, life may appear to be less difficult and more joyful. We all do that, don't we? We know that. If we're able to laugh about the situation, if we're able to work it through, thank God we have friends who can help us work it through, or teachers who help us work it through. If we're able to look at the situation, let our hearts feel the pain, but go beyond that, go deep into the pain, what is it we're healing? That's how we move through into that joy. Phillip goes on to say, we wish to also say it is how one looks at a situation that brings forth the emotions. Also involved, of course, are the age of the individual, the age and experience of the soul, and that which the soul agreed to, as we stated earlier. Older souls, those with more life experiences, are like those who have lived longer in human body than those who are young. Life gives wisdom in spirit world to souls and in earth dimension to humans. Not all old souls and not all older humans are wise. Those who have learned every situation bring forth an opportunity to grow and to see life through spiritual lenses or human cracked glass. The latter, of course, brings forth the bemoaning of life situation. The former, to see life through the spiritual lens, does not bring forth a life of ease, but allows the individual the strength to deal with all situations. It brings forth laughter and miracles. It brings forth love. In doing so, life in all its hardships feels easier, and the spiritual journey does become one of ease and joy. So, what I'm hearing Phillip say here is life doesn't necessarily get easier, but it feels easier because of how we deal with it. And I will give you an example in just a moment here. But Akila says, "Excuse me, I'm my squeaky chair. I apologize." Akila says, "Hello, everyone," and Sheila answers Akila here. So it's so good to see you guys interact with me. I recently came out from a walk with a friend with our dogs, with Piper and one of her buddies. And as I got into the car, the windshield was cracked. Well, I have a speaking engagement out of town coming up in a couple of days. And it was like, I can't make a 4-hour trip with a cracked windshield. So I called the insurance company, and then it just, miracles started happening. The dealership could get me in that next morning, and the insurance agent, oh my gosh, they created what I call magical miracles, because what he did was he was able to get it approved in hours. That doesn't happen normally. That's what Phillip is telling us here, though. If we really start looking at the hardships, and we all have them, and we're able to see the grace that is taking place, the joy, the gifts. In fact, my newsletter or the blog, I'm not sure which, just came out with looking at the gifts instead of lessons. So go to my blog, which is on my website, and it's are you receiving gifts or still looking at life as lessons, something like that. The newsletter, by the way, is free. Just sign up on my website. And I do want to also say we do have another Sacred Circle coming up. And we're gonna talk about masters, those of you who are masters in training, and give you some processes, some breathing exercises and such to help us calm. I think it was Eckhart Tolle who said, one conscious breath in and out is a meditation. And I know for some people, it's hard to meditate. So you can use a singing bowl, you can use bells, you can use a drum, depending upon what you resonate with. But this is the time that erratic energy, that powerful energy, we can use that to create a world of greater love. So, my friends, yeah, it's not necessarily easy, but we can turn it in to something of ease. Because as Phillip says, to see life through the spiritual lens does not bring forth a life of ease, but allows the individual the strength to deal with all situations. It brings forth laughter and miracles. It brings forth love. In doing so, life in all its hardships feels easier, and the spiritual journey does become one of ease and joy. I promise. Sometimes, though, we have to breathe, and sometimes we may have to scream, but we feel it's easier. Let's get our message, shall we? I'm hearing right. If you heard right, our intuition's in sync, and that's a message for everyone. If you heard left, that's a message you need to pay attention to. So on the right, what you give to the world is yours to keep. What you give to the world is yours to keep. That's page 223. I am always so not surprised, but I am always so touched by how the messages really correspond. And you see, I just open at random, but those messages really correspond to what we're talking about. And we're talking about, let's give the world love. We came here as healers, as teachers, all you masters in training. If we give love to the world, guess what's going to come back to us? If we give laughter and joy. That's not to say we may not have to push some people out of our lives. We may. It's not to say we don't have boundaries. We absolutely must have boundaries. We must take care of ourselves. But we're healing our own lives as we heal the world. And remember, what you give to the world is yours to keep. If you heard left, pay attention. This is page 222. Your dreams will not come true if you sleep through them. Your dreams will not come true. True will if you sleep through them. So, who was it that said, don't go back to sleep? Oh, a famous poet, and I can't remember right now. I'm sorry. Was it Rumi? Don't go back to sleep. Wake up. I think it might have been Rumi, but I'm not sure. Forgive me. Somebody's going to know the answer. All right. Remember, what you give to the world is yours to keep. Give love. Give love. Sheila says, oh, I had left. Okay, Sheila, you have work to do. You have things to do. So it's time to not go back to sleep. It is really time. And I'm not just talking, I don't think Phillip here is just saying this kind of sleep. I think he's talking, it's the spiritual journey you're on. Your soul is waking you up. Your spirit is saying, come on, you're awake. It got hard. Let's make it easier. And remember, that's really just about how we see it. Sheila says, haha, but it's my hobby. We're allowed to sleep. There are times the body needs rest, absolutely. And some need more sleep than others. So get the amount of sleep you need. But again, I think this may not be just about sleeping with the body. I love you all, my friends. I am so grateful for those of you who come on and interact with each other and interact with me. That is so cool. I love it. So remember, as we say goodbye, what you give to the world is yours to keep. So wake up. It's time to love, starting with yourself. And thank you for the love that you send to us. She's off her bed now and in the back there. And thank you for the love that you send out. And all right, Sheila says, thank you, Diana. And Greg Niemer, Greg says, I need a nap. Okay, Greg, go take a nap. Hey, you're in California. You just woke up, buddy. I love you all. Oh, we have a new person here, Antoinette. Thank you, Antoinette. I don't believe we've met before, so welcome. So good to see you. And she says thank you and sends us love. My friends, and Akila says thank you. I love you all. You guys keep me doing this because I just feel like I'm looking at this screen and it makes it in some ways much harder because I'm looking at myself trying not to be critical of how I look, but we all do that, don't we? Let's go love ourselves and love the world. Remember, if you're listening to this, if you are hearing my voice, you are a older soul and you are a master in the making. And Sheila says, keep rocking, Diana. Okay, I am going to keep rocking. I love to dance, and I go dance in my kitchen or living room or with Piper. So keep dancing, my friends. Keep laughing. Keep adding to our world. We need you. We're going to change it. Thank you. Antoinette says, we appreciate you, Diana. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I need to hear that. I love you all. Thank you. See you next Friday. Bye for now.